Let's run through some different ways of doing a shadowline. The two most common ways we see is the use of a P50 angle and then a L-bead to create a shadowline skirting. With the P50, how that's done is they set the P50 in against the plasterboard here, and then they put their skirting board in after the P50 is set to create this shadowline here in between the metal angle and the skirting board, the timber square section. With the L-bead, they tend to use a skirting with a rebate in the top edge. So that literally gets fixed right in like that. So the L-bead gets set in against the plaster here, and then the shadowline comes down on here to create the shadowline there. Out of those two ways of doing it, the best way would be the L-bead section, because what happens is with the L-bead, if there's any movement after that's been set in between the skirting board and the angle, the cracking happens up on the top of the shadowline, so you actually have to get down on the ground and look up, whereas with a P50 it's probably the worst way of doing a shadowline with a P50, because any cracking happens on the bottom and you see any movement on the bottom. Plenty of bad examples I've seen on site. The other thing with the P50 and the L-bead sections is in between studs you do have to noggin between the two studs here, because the P50 will tend to wave in between. If you've got long hallways, you still will get waving with noggining out. Yeah, it's a very hard detail to get correct. And then if you don't noggin in between the studs, the plasterboard will move. So if anyone impacts a wall, there'll be a crack straight away. We have brought out a shadowline system to help eliminate these problems. So the first shadowline skirting that we have is a simple SK800. It's a one piece, we call it our one piece shadowline. And what that does is you put your skirting in, bring your plasterboard down on top of it, tape and set it, and you're done. And it means it eliminates a whole heap of issues, so you don't have to noggin in between your studs. And then any waving variance between your plasterboard and the skirting is hidden in the set joint. So it's actually hidden from here to here, and you cannot pick it up because the top of the shadowline and the bottom of the shadowline are always consistent, so you always get a really nice shadowline. Another benefit is that our patented shadowline skirting can be curved to follow the curved walls, allowing it to flex and maintain a constant flawless shadowline finish. Trying to achieve curved walls with a traditional metal L-bead or P50 is very challenging, as the top and the bottom section of the shadowline do not align. To save more time on install, our skirtings can be ordered in a flexible polyurethane material for effortless installation. This saves time in filling the curved cuts.